a commit. So Jayden Sanders, 4-star cornerback, commit to Michigan. TJ has put out a video on this, but we do have the film here. And so I guess, to start off, let's talk Jayden Sanders in general before we get to what's Lamar Morgan's secret sauce. But, what do you see from this player that you think might make him a really strong, component in Michigan's personnel
Secondary.
groups?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Jayden Sanders, for those who missed the news over the weekend, Jayden Sanders has committed to Michigan. He's a 4-star corner out of Texas, Kilgore, Texas. And he's also the son of a former D1 athlete, played for TCU in the mid 2000s. And yeah, what we have here is a very lengthy 6'2", possibly 6'3" corner. He's very athletic too. He's he has some good twitch to him. What I like to see in his tape, and there is some offensive highlights as well as some special team highlights mixed in here. But when you see the defensive highlights, what you see is a player who's sticky in coverage, has excellent awareness in terms of read and react skills, plays the ball in the air. I think he's a very strong corner. Now he's about 175 pounds. He will need to get in the weight room. He will need to gain some size. And as I said in the recruiting breakdown video, which I released on Saturday, go check it out if you missed it. In about 2 to 3 years, I could see him vying for playing time, potentially starting as one of the outside corners in our defense. He has that type of potential. And what you also see in the highlights is he's making impact playmaking plays at all 3 phases. It's just a strong get. It's a very strong get to the class. He could be CB. I project him as a CB2, but potential to be a CB1 in the future. But I do think he will be a strong CB2 in our defense of the future.
Yeah, that's great. We have lost a player or two, so it's good to have the overall process and not worry, okay, we lost somebody, okay, we did get somebody else. And are we on the edge of being in the top 10 in terms of recruiting class?
No, we're about 15 right now because of our loss of Philip Wright. And then we had 2 guys who they lowered to a 3-star in Eli Owens and Bobby Kanka. But I mean, it's still, again, it's a strong class. We're at, I think, 16 commits right now. So, I mean, it is a strong class. I mean, I'm hoping to get in the top. So Andrew Marsh is going to be, which actually I'm going to hit on that in a little bit. So I have some more players I'll touch on in a little bit, but it's a strong class. You know, unfortunately, Philip Wright left, but I do know Michigan is trying to fill that role, and they're looking at some new prospects now.
All right, keep going. I'm waiting for the Babalola update.
Okay. So I think next we have Andrew Marsh, John. Let's see. So I'll hit on Andrew Marsh. I'll save Babalola. So Andrew Marsh, quick update on Andrew Marsh. This is another one that we are looking great on. We had an interview with Andrew Marsh a couple weeks ago. He's looking to commit August 28th. That is the date to pencil on your calendars. That is looking really good. We are extremely optimistic. I have a lock on Andrew Marsh. So just be on the lookout for that. Nothing has changed, even though there have been some teams who have tried to, make a move. But the reality is Andrew Marsh is pretty damn locked into Michigan. He's very, he really likes it here. So, just an update on that everything is looking good there. And then we'll hit on Andrew Babalola. This is the big name right now in recruiting for Michigan. There has been some smoke that Auburn has entered the race. That smoke is true. They have entered the race in the sense of they are coming very aggressively through NIL. Now, that said, I do think, and I said this, so I was asked on social media, what were my feelings on this current battle? And from my understanding, it is still a Michigan-Stanford battle. But here's the thing. So there's a couple dynamics. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
He was supposed to commit August 12th. That was his loose, tentative commitment date. And as you guys know, this is a recruitment we've all been following for a few months now. We wanted Andrew Babalola to commit before August. The sooner he committed, the better for Michigan. Well, his tentative date was August 12th. He did not commit August 12th. It's August 13th. Now, when he does want to commit is going to be within the next 4 weeks. He wants to get this decision done before the season starts and all of that. And before the school year, he just wants to focus on ball. So what we have right now is we have a 3-horse race between Stanford, Michigan, and Auburn. But I do believe it is still Stanford and Michigan ahead of Auburn at this moment. But Auburn is making it interesting. They are being aggressive. And they are contacting him frequently, but Michigan is also in frequent contact. Michigan still feels good, but at the end of the day, I can't say one way or another if we're leading or not. I just think it is an extremely close battle right now. The sooner, here's the thing too, though. He can commit it any day. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be in 3-4 weeks. But the sooner he commits, the better for Michigan. The longer he runs this out, I would say might be better for Auburn because that means he's listening because they just entered the chat. Auburn is a big component to why it may drag longer than it should. And if it does drag longer than it should, that might be, which is interesting, because we're like, well, we've been talking, John, this has been an academics recruitment. So what is Auburn doing here? Well, just like Nicholas Harbor a year ago, right? Nicholas Harbor was not about NIL. And we're going to quote Sam Webb here because I think Sam Webb brings an excellent point. It's not about NIL until it is. Now, I'm not saying this recruitment is 100% about NIL because it's not. And Michigan is offering NIL. This is not Michigan not coming to the plate. It's just Auburn's very aggressive right now. They're offering a little bit more NIL. So we'll see what happens. It's just a recruitment we're going to have to watch. And I think, a lot of us, me too. I think a lot of us are like, why Michigan develops, Michigan wins, and we have NIL. How is this not? And academically, we are there. So how is this not a perfect match made in heaven for an offensive lineman? I don't know. I mean, that's something that we don't quite know because we're not in his shoes, but it appears Stanford's the academic choice. Auburn is the NIL choice, and Michigan actually has all of it, but it is what it is. I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see. Yeah.
What happened to freaking education being and then Auburn just comes out of nowhere and throws a bag and now they're being talked seriously about it.
All right.
What's crazy too is like I was gonna say Auburn's not the only team that's up. Missouri was throwing a bag. I don't know, man. Apparently he's vibing very well with the coaching staff at Auburn. So whatever they're selling. It's having some impact. So we'll see. Listen, Michigan's still in a good position. This isn't me saying we're losing ground or we're still healthy. We're still in it. It's just there's now a new opponent in the arena, and the longer this drags out, I do think the tougher it is for Michigan to win. The sooner he announces his commitment date, the better. Go on, Ferris.
Yeah, I was going to say we need to pause for a second. First, I didn't get a chance to personally thank Blue Wolverine for defending me on other chats. But let's just pause for a second because of this.
Blue Wolverine with the 50 burger. Love the show. Wish it was live 7 days a week. Well, yeah,
we've had that.
We've
had that requested by B-Dub wants it 7 days a week. There's some others who've asked for it to be 7 days a week. But thank you, Blue Wolverine. Shout out to you, man, for contributing to the channel again. It means a lot to us. It just does, man. You guys make us. We got to do better because you guys, give us so much as well. So we appreciate all that. You guys work hard for your money. We don't take it for granted. So, thank you.
All hosts
we are going to do
and treat them well, Mark. Just wanted to finish out this. He said.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, Mark.
Treat us well. So we are going to have a pregame show and a postgame show for all games. So, not 7 days a week yet, but we are going to up our on-air time for sure during the season.
And our guest list is getting legit. Okay. I'm sure we're going to hit on it, but I'll just hit on it now. We got Tanner Wooten joining us this Thursday on the call-in show. Next Thursday, I got the Scarlet and Blue show. They're going to be joining me then. We also are going to be for the games, game weeks, we're going to be getting other analysts from these other teams to give their perspective on the matchups. We have Texas already locked up. We got Ferris Ferris State already or not Ferris State, Fresno State already locked. Ferris is with me right now. We got Fresno State locked up. We're working on Arkansas State. So yeah, man. I mean, it's just we got Trey Taylor coming in. We got a lot more. We're also working on I'm working on an interview I think you guys will be very happy about. So we'll see what we can do for you guys, man. We're gonna bring the heat, keep providing the content, and Moose, my God, thank you, Moose. Appreciate you for
wait, pause again. It's time to
Just Moose said not to be outdone. Here you go, 50 burger. Everybody throw the Moose in the chat right now. Thank you so much, buddy.
Whenever Moose gets in a donation off, Moose is like, nah, I'm not. I got more. I got one more in me.
But yeah, going back to Blue Wolverine just for a sec, and Moose, I'm on other chats, and a lot of times, there's all kinds of things flying my way. When I just simply say how many days it's been since Ohio State has beaten Michigan in football, if somebody could look that up, that would be great. And they immediately go to cheating, go to other things, or go to the 2020 game, whatever. It is nice to have others who are there with me, who are. I'm not just doing this solo when I'm on these chats of Ohio State oriented YouTubers.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've noticed, looking at checking out some of the other videos, our contingent of fan base seems to be on a lot of other chats. It's cool to see our community. Obviously these communities spread amongst various shows, but I see you, Ferris, and I see some of our normal fans that are here on our show in these chats. And it's cool to, it just seems to be a really strong community, like everyone has each other's back, even on these other, broadcasts that may not be friendly.
All right, one thing on Babalola. I looked up On3's projection for Babalola.
Holy shit, dude.
Okay, wait, we got to stop again. Stop.
Hey.
Stop.
Blue Wolverine, my God. Yeah, what are you gonna do now, Moose? I'm just kidding.
What now?
He's calling you out.
Damn.
Blue Wolverine, bring it. Just kidding. All to a good cause. It is. Man, I'll tell you. Yeah, we're definitely. We appreciate it, man, and thank you for your contribution of $99. I think this is your second $100 donation to the channel. We appreciate that, man. Hey, the Juju like 4 hours. Hey, that's the call-in show, man. The call-in show is where we extend it every hour for every $100. But yeah, no, that's hell yeah, man. That means a lot to us. Just know that.
But hey, naturally, if we have to keep, if you keep super chatting, we have to keep stopping. So the show's going to go longer naturally if you keep doing that. So there you go. Sorry, TJ, go for it.
It's all good. Yeah. So, well, you want me to hit on the recruiting? Yeah. All right. So we'll go back to recruiting.
Yeah.
So next up is, so there's some concern here with Andrew. Well, all right. There is not concern with Andrew Olesh, but there's been some recent news that Andrew Olesh has picked up a scholarship from Oregon. Some are a bit concerned because we all know what Oregon is. They're a power player in the recruiting game. They're very, very aggressive. They are probably the most aggressive NIL team, which is saying a lot because you got teams like Miami and Texas A&M and Texas. But by all accounts, Andrew Olesh is locked into Michigan. He's very happy with Michigan. It's just one of those things where a school at the level of Oregon just happened to offer a scholarship. And of course, it's going to turn some heads like, oh shit, because we know what Oregon's doing on the trail. They're making life hell for Ohio State. They're making life hell for a lot of teams. We've had our own battles with Oregon in the past, but everything as it stands on August 13th, Andrew Olesh is still very strong and committed to Michigan. He is recruiting other players to come to Michigan. So I just want to put everyone's, if you happen to be a slightly concerned, at ease, just, everything's good. Nothing to worry about there. And then the last thing I want to hit on for the recruiting segment is we are officially in, because we're officially in flip season. We are officially in the senior riser season. We are now going to be unearthing gems, because what is going on right now is the recruiting board is getting thin. there's less and less targets, and there's still some remaining needs. We still have about 6 to 9 more players who will be committing to the class. And some names I want to hit on are Kamar Archie, linebacker, who is currently committed to Rutgers. That is a name to watch. I do think Michigan is going, I think from what I know, Michigan is keeping tabs on that recruitment. I think that they may make a push for him as the season goes on. We will see what happens there because, as you know, we were once number 1 for Kamar Archie, and then we kind of slow played it because we went through the coaching transition. We'll see how that goes. Michigan is, we have Chase Taylor currently in the fold. We will see how that one shakes out, but I do think Kamar Archie is a name to watch. Adonis Curry from Texas A&M, that is the cornerback. He is currently committed to Texas A&M. This is their number 1. I don't want to say number 1. This is one of their top targets on the board still. Be on the lookout for that. They tried to get him to come to a barbecue at the Big House. It didn't happen. They're going to try and get him for a fall visit. We will see if they're able to make that happen. If any of these, I want to stress this, if any of these kids who are currently committed to other schools make it on any visits, that is your indicator things are going very well. It is very hard to get a committed kid, especially at this stage in the process, to come up for visits. So if we are able to do that, that's a very strong indication that things are moving in the right direction. Micah Strickland out of TCU is a name to watch. He runs a 10.8 900 meter. Adonis Curry runs a 10.5 500 meter. You will see a common trend with these corners that Lamar Morgan is currently targeting, which are extremely fast, athletic corners, pretty much the opposite of Don Brown. Donovan Starr is another one who's a current Auburn commit. It would be nice to, stick one to Auburn, even though we did with Nate Marshall. He runs a 10.5 600 meter. And then the last flip target I want to mention, and this is a name a lot of you are already familiar with, which is Alex Graham, currently committed to Colorado. This one I probably feel strongest about. If Alex Graham can show that he is healthy, if Alex Graham can show that he can remain healthy, because he's been injured the last couple years, I think Michigan becomes very aggressive in that recruitment. And because he went to IMG, he's come back from IMG. He's currently, I believe, at Cass Tech. If he stays healthy, I think you will see Alex Graham in the class. But so that's where we are with the recruiting segment for this week. Recruiting news is beginning to slow down a little bit, but of course, we will always bring you the latest intel we possibly can.
Yeah, I think it's Colorado, so they're probably going 5-7 at best. And with all the media controversies and everything else going on with Dion, it's definitely not impossible to think that he could flip. I think the Olesh thing, keep in mind, if you were freaked out because he tweeted, remember that they're going to tweet if they get a scholarship offer. They're going to continue to do that even if they've committed to another school, just out of respect for getting the offer, if nothing else. So I wouldn't worry about it. As we know, Oregon has been there's like a Jerry Jones like urgency to get a national championship with Phil Knight in Oregon. So they're just throwing bags all around there. But I think Olesh I feel good that he will still be in the Michigan class.
Plus, listen, if you were in his shoes or you were a top prospect, any freaking scholarship you get from these top premier universities, you would want to show it off too. You got to remember, these kids are the man at their school. How dope is it? Oh, hey, Oregon just offered me a scholarship. Whether you are interested or not, you're still gonna show it off. These kids are 17, 16 years old, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's just. It just comes with the game. But yeah, I mean, I would at this point in time, I am not concerned about Andrew Olesh. Did you read PowerPoint's super chat, John?
I was going to, and then we'll take Moose's super sticker, and then Ferris, you're up. Power plant, $5. I'm sensing a value bet with the interest in Auburn. We will increase our NIL. That's
actually, I'll put my comment in right now because it relates to that.
Please.
It does sort of make sense that let me shop around a little bit. Let's see if there's some way I can get what I want, which is go to Michigan. But can I get a little bit more? Maybe it might make sense that that's where Auburn might make sense, right? So to have some kind of, hey, I've got this over here, can you match it? That sort of thing.
I mean,
I do want to actually just point out that On3 has Babalola at like 90% or 88, 89% or something. Do you think that they're way off, TJ? Do you really think it's 50-50 or 50-55 or whatever, 50-45-5?
no, I mean, I don't think. See, all right. So the RPM meter that On3 has it's very unreliable. It's based on visits and articles and of course predictions. But listen, I don't think Michigan has a 30% lead on anybody right now. I think it's a close race. I do to I agree with you in power playing. I think there's no question kids use schools to up offers to generate interest. We may very well, and I don't have intel on this. This is speculation on my part. Playing off of this super chat, we may very well be seeing negotiations occurring. I mean, and we know we are. I mean, we know this happens in recruitments. There's negotiations throughout the recruitment. Sean McGee is very involved on all of these. And for those who don't know, he's the general manager for Michigan. He heads basically these types of negotiations for Michigan. I think it's, and Sharon Moore is without question in contact with Andrew Babalola daily. So it's very likely there is a negotiation game going on right now. And like I said, within the next 3 to 4 weeks or, sooner from, 3 weeks or sooner, we should see where this goes. It's possible that Auburn is nothing more than a leverage player here in terms of for Babalola to increase his value. So we will see how that goes. I think that's a great point by PowerPoint or PowerPoint.
Absolutely. Wolverine Gauge reminding everybody to hit the like button. We're at 84 likes. Let's get to 100. Thank you, Wolverine Gauge, for that. And of course, throw the Moose emoji one more time because Moose has another 20 burger for us. So how about that? Moose, appreciate you, man.
Big Moose. Yeah, bro. Thank you, man. I kind of appreciate it. Appreciate everyone who's contributed tonight. It means a lot. As you know, I feel like sometimes I'm repeating myself by saying how much we appreciate it, but at the end of the day, it's just the truth.